me with 8 words I will never, ever forget. You fucked up the kids. You take them. The year was 1974. My marriage, after 20 years, was not working because my wife and I were not working at it. She did not understand me, nor I her. We both were ill-behaved, having become mortal enemies, living by the don't ask, don't tell code of our militant existence. I'd just turned 40, where life was said to begin, and I'd made plans. Sugar plum visions of being single had danced in my head for the past dozen years. But neither of us had the strength to drop the D word that would mercifully part us. After all, we didn't want to hurt the kids, whom we'd been putting a deep hurt on for years. One night, while staring at a novel in bed, not seeing it, I said to my wife, "We're divorced." Just like that. I was as stunned by that remark as was she, but the proceedings finally began, so now I could make real plans. She would take our kids, ages 11, 14, and 16, raise them, and receive child support and alimony from me. Fine. And me, I'd lease a bachelor pad, for which I immediately made application. A 1-bedroom in the heart of the entertainment district in downtown Cleveland, not Cincinnati. The sugar plum visions would now become real. I'd been a 2-timing swinger for years. Now I'd be simply a single swinger. I'd be dressed to kill in my polyester leisure suit. My long salon-straightened hair hanging down to here, my long sideburns down to here, my collar points down to here, my Van Dyke beard perfectly trimmed, the full Cleveland. I'd become, I wouldn't have called it this, but others might, a lounge lizard. And I'd have ample opportunity to bring into play my best moves, among them the ingenious inscribing of a couplet on a cocktail napkin, something immortal, like, I feel the warmth of you beside me, I'd like to be inside you. Now, you may see this as pure doggerel or porno, but the ploy, more often than not, worked. Particularly when the napkin was wrapped around a carefully rolled spliff. Sleazy, you say? This was 1974. I was groovy. My new digs, I'd be in them within a week. May I describe the prime element of their tastefully planned decor besides the Elvises? Starting above the entry door would be a wide rainbow stripe, considered hip psychedelia, not at all what it means today, which would rise to the ceiling, progress diagonally across the living room to just above the bedroom door, then under its opening and up again, traversing its ceiling to the wall behind the bed, and then down, stopping just above the bed. Not chancing that this subtle hint at why we're here would be missed, a large painted hand, like a pot of gold at rainbow's end, would point down at the bed. The water bed, of course. This is what those sugar plum fairies painted so indelibly on the brain pan of my overactive, overheated, and otherwise vacant mind. I signed the lease while living out the last days of my failed marriage in our already sold home. My wife had already moved. I would now do my best to see the kids on weekends, if I wasn't too busy being what I already was, a complete and total asshole. But my path was laid, as I soon hoped to be, early and often. But wait, there's more. A day later, my doorbell rang. My about-to-be ex-wife, her turn to stun me with 8 words I will never, ever forget. You fucked up the kids, you take them. And I did. What choice did I have? Those words, not surprisingly, changed my life, lifting me from the gutter that would surely have claimed me. She flew west and never looked back, and the kids were mine from that day on. I bought a home far from any entertainment district and settled in, not as the lounge lizard of my dreams, but suddenly as a single father raising 3 preteen and teenage kids. Piece of cake. Right. Forgiveness, our subject tonight, may not be what my wife and I owed each other, but awakening now, I did owe her my everlasting gratitude. Though she's gone now, I bless her often for the gift she gave me. This is a story with a happy ending, in a way. A few weeks later, I met a woman whom I married several months later. The love of my life for the next 20 years. Still is. I'd be with her still if, after 15 years, she hadn't discovered alcohol and drank herself to death before her 50th birthday. Long story, short life. I could not forgive her for dying, but I finally did, realizing that she was completely helpless to fight her disease. For some, it works that way. I mourn her deeply still. As for my wife of the 8 words, the fool, she did herself no favor and regretted it, but I'll always be grateful for the favor she did this fool. She returned me to my children, not for weekends, but tightly, forever. In doing so, she saved my life. If there's anything of our madness, our relationship for which to forgive her, I do forgive her. And if she can hear me now, may she forgive me. Thank you.